Good evening, everybody, and welcome back for another round of East Coast Formula One Championship action. Today we are here at the Shanghai circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix, and it looks as if it's quite sunny out at the moment. It is prone to rain here at this track, so we'll see if that tends to happen throughout qualifying or the race session. Just waiting to see who's first out on track here. Looks to be... Let's see if I can find him here. Snooker, I believe. I'll get my map up here. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, it looks to be Snooker in the Renault is the first out on track. Looking to get the first lap time of the session, set the benchmark for everybody else. He is followed by Niru in Red Bull. Looks like we got a few different tires out for this session. A few mediums, the majority is softs, so we'll see how that plays out. He's getting close to the back DRS section here, which cars practically top out at around 333, 335 kilometers an hour, so it's a very fast section. Alright. As he's coming into turn 16, which will be the start of the pit straight, gets a good exit, get that rear wing open, and he will start his first lap of qualifying. Into turn 1 and 2. It's a quite tricky section. You definitely have to be good on your throttle and brake because it's kind of a mixture of both in that section, and then into a hard left-hander. And he gets a good exit there. Through turn 5, coming into turn 6 hairpin. Took a little bit of curb, but not too much. He's showing pretty good pace so far. Niru's not far behind him. And then it looks like we've got a Haas behind them. Bray Train on his outlap. We'll hop on board with Niru here and see how he's doing. This is also a tricky portion of the track. Looks like he sets a purple sector too, so he's got the fastest second sector of the session so far. We're only a few minutes in, so that could change, but trying to get close enough. Won't quite get a tow from Snooker ahead in the Renault, but he's showing some good speed nonetheless. This is also a tricky part of the track to master, because if you get on the power too heavy there, you can easily spin out. Perfect, gets a good exit, a little bit of curb. Snooker with a 135, Niru with a 132. Cuts his time by almost 3 seconds. So that was a very quick lap on his part. It looks like next across the line is going to be the Williams of Guitar Maniac. And he'll go fastest with a 131.9. So there's the benchmark so far, 131.940. Renan in the McLaren slightly slower. He's good for P4 right now. We're on board with Smith Pell in the Red Bull DRS. And he'll go third fastest. The 132.886. A few cars coming across. Unholy Red Eye sets a 132.585, good enough for P3 at the moment. We got Snooker's teammate Labatt's Blues in the Renault. Looking to set his first lap of the session. He's on the medium compound tire. We got a good mix in the top 7 so far of mediums and softs. Those guys are showing some pretty good pace. Bit of a lockup. DRS. Good enough for P6 at the moment, 133.460. And Dissection follows him across the line with a 133.3. Looks like Snooker's trying to set another fast lap. He will improve by about a second. Bray Train coming across the line for Haas. Good enough for P3 with a 132.465. So he's a little under a second behind first place. That's not a bad spot to be. Looks like we got another McLaren coming across the line. Oh no, Renan's diving into the pits. Few guys still in the pits. Alright, Stewart 156, is he trying? Nope, he'll dive into the pits as well. Unholy Red Eye will follow him. Smith Pell Red Bull. Is he trying to set another lap? He doesn't, he also heads into the pits. He's happy with his time for the time being. A few more cars out on their outlaps. Quite a few still in the pits, waiting to set their qualifying laps. We'll see just what happens a little bit later on in the session here. They must be making strategies, figuring out setups, etc. Looks like we got the AlphaTauri of Raimai is just starting his outlap. Got the pair of Renaults. He's going pretty slow. Labatt will follow his teammate in, almost rear-ending him. Alright, so we will go hang out with Shush in the Mercedes, the Silver Arrow, or Black Arrow, I guess, with that livery. Getting through that first tricky part of the track. As he heads through turn 5 into that turn 6 hairpin, sets a purple sector 1. That's a very good start to his lap. Looks like he'll be gunning for his teammate Stewart up there in P1. Got a little Hamilton-Bottas battle going on here. Very good through that sector, a little bit of curb. Nice and wide, taking all the track he can. Good entry. This is a tricky part to handle. You can lose the rear end of the car quite easily, but you got to get on the power as fast as you can to get a good exit onto this long straight. Onto the brakes, bit of a lockup. A little wide. He's getting on the power. Be very close to see what he does here. Oh, and it doesn't invalidate. Very lucky on his part. He will go P1 for the moment. 130.921. Almost a whole second faster than his teammate. He got very lucky in that final turn there. That almost looked like an invalidation, but he hung on. Mopawa just setting his hot lap, his first of the session. Alright. Just trying to see who's going to be next on the grid here. It looks like ZGS in the Williams is starting his first hot lap. Getting some good speed down the straight. Close that wing up for some downforce. Very good line through turns 2, 3, and 4. Smith Pell in the Red Bull just starting his next hot lap. Trying to improve on his time from P7. Still quite a few medium tires out there. Obviously the softs are getting the better of the track, but they will wear out quicker, so we'll see how that plays out. Alright, we're on board with Mopawa. His teammate's just crossing the line, and he will bump up a few spots, reeling into P7 for McLaren. Oh, he has a slow line coming out of there. Let's see what kind of a time he sets. 134.755, good enough for 12th place at the moment. Jay Kelly's just coming into the last section of the track on his first hot lap. Soft compound tire. Good enough. Oh, he must have invalidated. I didn't notice that. My apologies. Looks like ZGS is not putting in a hot lap for Williams at the moment. Smith, Pell, and Red Bull. The Racing Point goes wide of detail. We'll hop on board with Smith, Pell. Good line, good exit, on the power. And he will improve significantly. He'll bump up about 6 spots into P2 with a 130.983, just 6 hundredths off of first place. I believe Kaz in the Alfa Romeo just started his first hot lap. Looks like we got a Ferrari. Was on his out lap, but he's not feeling too good about it, so he'll dive into the pits. You can see in that pit entrance, it is all pavement right there. For some race fans that don't recall, or non-race fans for that matter, that was the section of track that robbed Lewis Hamilton of his first World Championship. It was a mistake by the rookie. He would have won his first season, but unfortunately with the wet, he slid into a gravel pit on his pit stop and could not get himself out, so that ruined his chances at a championship. Looks like Raimai has retired from the session, so the AlphaTauri will be starting from P18. Looks like we got a racing point on the back section of the track. That'll be detail. Good line there on the power. See what kind of a line you can get through here. Good exit. Get that wing open. That'll be good enough for P3 with a 131.555. The soft compound tires are taking control of the grid. We're going to hop on board with the Alfa Romeo of Kaz. See what he can do. He's on the mediums. Good enough for P15 at the moment. He must have had some issues on that lap. I think he can definitely go faster than that. We'll see what kind of improvement he can get there. We're on the back straight with Renan and McLaren. As he comes into turn 14, doesn't invalidate. Looked like a bit of a cut there, but he managed to keep it as a valid lap. He'll dive into the pits. And we got a Renault. We got Snooker ML. Seeing if he can't improve from P14. And he will not improve his time, so he'll take another lap around the track. We got a Haas of Jay Kelly on the mediums. He will not improve as well. He's currently P6 with his teammate Bray Train right behind him in P7. Mopawa looks to be out of fuel, so he will dive into the pits. Very short window of time for anybody looking to get more laps in. We got the Haas of Bray Train on track at the moment. Starting his next hot lap. Oh, looks like Kaz in the Alfa Romeo, he bumps up from P15 to P11. So that was a much better lap from him. Stewart in the Mercedes is just beginning his next hot lap. Still looking to improve, wants to catch his teammate up there. He's been bumped down a few spots. Some pretty quick drivers out there today. The grid is not too far spread out at the moment. Under 4 seconds separates P1 to P15. We still got the Ferrari of USGT and the Williams of ZGS looking to set their qualifying laps. They definitely don't want to be starting back there if they can help it. Jay Kelly is about to set another lap. He will improve marginally, won't bump up any spots, unfortunately. Back on board with his teammate. Actually, never mind. I will stay on board with him. I was going to hop on board with the Ferrari, but he's still on an outlap. Car off track there is Snooker. Good line, good exit on the power. And he does not improve. He will stay P7. I don't know if he's going to try to get one more lap in. Looks like he is still pushing. Wants one more go at it. Oh, Stewart bumps up from P7 to, I believe, P5 to P3. We've got a couple Red Bulls on the back straight. Looks like Niru and his teammate are also on hot laps. They will just have enough time for one more. Dissection also about to start his final hot lap. On board with Shush. Looks like he's trying to improve his time. Hop on board with him as he gets through this fast sector here. And he cuts 4/10 off his time. So that opens the gap a little bit further. Looks like Guitar Maniac, sorry, just started his hot lap. USGT will go from P16. Oh, he invalidated. So he will not set a time, unfortunately. Ferrari's going to be looking to make that up in the race, hopefully. Everyone seems to be diving into the pits. They are finishing their qualifying session. We still got both Red Bulls out on track. I'll hop on board Smith Pell. He'll be first across the line. Currently he's at a 1:30.983. Can he snag pole? Oh, he does not. He improves, but not quite enough. Still 2/10 off, and Niru bumps up quite a few positions into P4. We got... Oh, he dives into the pits. He will not improve from P12. Don't know if we got anybody else. We've got a couple cars still left on track doing their hot laps. The Racing Point of Unholy Red Eye is looking to improve from P9. He's at a 1:32.585 at the moment. But he's got good pace. And he will jump quite a few positions, a 1:30.802. Very well done for him. Bray Train is looking to get out of P9. He does not. CGS will abandon his hot lap, and USGT is also abandoning his hot lap for Ferrari, and that will conclude our qualifying session here at the Chinese Grand Prix. In just a few moments' time, we'll be at lights out and have some racing action underway. As the Ferrari crew pulls their car into the garage, do some last minute tuning, and get ready for the race. We have quite the battle going on in both the driver standings and the constructor standings. Red Bull is dominating at the moment with a whopping 420 points in the Constructors' Championship. As you can see, their drivers have done quite well so far today, sitting in P2 and P5. On pole position, we've got Shush in Mercedes, so very good job for him. And we've got on the second row, we've got Unholy Red Eye and Racing Point, and Stewart with Mercedes. P5, we got Red Bull and Niru. P6 is Detail, Racing Point. P7, Williams and Guitar. P8, Jay Kelly with Haas. P9, Bray Train and Haas. P10, Renan and McLaren. 11th is Alfa Romeo and Kaz. Dissection 12th. Labatt's 13th. Mopawa 14th. Shooker 15, USGT 16, ZGS and Raimai will round out the grid. Raimai will be looking for that back to front battle, seeing if he can't get driver of the day, get some points for AlphaTauri. The weather looks pretty good here for race day so far. Looks decently sunny. So hopefully the drivers won't have to deal with the rain. In the Constructors' Championship, we've got Racing Point 65 points back from Red Bull, and Haas a few points behind them. Right now we've got Smith Pell for Red Bull dominating the Drivers' Championship with 237 points. Jay Kelly is 17 points back in second place, and DTL 208 points. So he's a little bit of a deficit. Nothing that can't be changed in a race or two's time. So they'll be looking to snag some points for themselves and their team. The Shanghai circuit has a total of 16 turns with a length of 5.45 kilometers or 3.38 miles. There's 2 DRS sections. The back straight is very long, so the cars generally tend to max out their speed. So guys or teams with a little less downforce will definitely be dominating in the pit straight and the back straight. The turns do play a heavy factor in this, so we'll see how that pans out. Looks like Mercedes and Shush is jumping out ahead of the pack here to start the formation lap. A little bit of a break between the top 4 and the rest of the grid, but everyone doing the formation lap weave, getting some heat into those tires. We'll see what everybody's starting on. We got a pretty good mix. We got the majority, we got the top 6 is starting on softs, so the medium mixed in there, a couple more softs. We do have a couple guys starting on hard, so it'll be interesting to see how that strategy plays out. If they don't have the pace, that could significantly hurt their race. Some guys do have a tendency to be able to keep up with some of the faster tires when they're on hards, but only time will tell. And then we got a few more mediums to round out the bottom of the grid there. The Mercedes jumped out to a big lead on the rest of the pack here. They're quite a ways back, so the cars that arrive on the grid early will be sitting ducks, letting their tires kind of cool off, so that may not work out for the start of the race. But once again, as I said, time will tell. As a few cars line up on the grid, a little bit of a burnout to get the rear tires sticky, and the majority of the cars are rounding turn 16, getting ready to start the race. Almost everyone is ready, just a few more cars coming into the back of the grid. ZGS, Raimai, and NF will round out the 19 drivers here, ready to start the Chinese Grand Prix. As the tension builds, we're 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go. The Chinese Grand Prix is underway. Got a few position changes. Good start for Mercedes. He's looking to take a bit of a bump there. We'll hop on board with them as we get into turn 1, 2, 3, and 4. Racing Point wide at detail. We got a little bumping. Shush is out to a good lead right off the bat. Oh, Stewart is wide for Mercedes. That is majorly unfortunate. He will lose all of his positions. Mercedes will not like that very much. 2 Ferraris are there battling with a couple other drivers. Mercedes is out to a pretty good lead right off the bat. He's got almost 2 seconds on Smith, Pell, and Red Bull. Niru very close behind his teammate. Followed by Bray Train and Holy Reddit. Ooh, the Renault is making a move. He's putting those hard tires to work. He's battling with Guitar Maniac. Won't quite hang on. We don't have DRS yet. We gotta wait a couple more laps for that. The start of lap 3. The course marshals will enable DRS. Pit stop strategies, soft to hard, or if you want a 2-stop, soft, medium, medium. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see which is the fastest day. We had a few position changes near the back here. Stewart's looking to make up. We got a car into the pits already. The Jake Kelly and the Haas. I didn't see if he was if he had damage. We got a few position changes. Lots happening. Can't keep up with it all. We got a bit of a grid mix-up at the moment. Bit of a game glitch that does happen from time to time. Shush is currently P1 for Mercedes with a 2.5 second lead over Smith, Pell, and Red Bull. The Red Bulls are fighting a good Verstappen-Ricciardo battle here. The Racing Point on Unholy Red Eyes hunting down Bray Train and the Haas. We'll see what he can do in these next few moments. Looks like Kaz is looking to hopefully make a move on Labatt's. Stewart's making his way back up the grid. He did have a bit of an issue early on in lap 1, but he's making up for it in a hurry. A nice shot of the rear suspension of Mercedes. Shush sets the session lap time of a 1:35, so that's what guys will be looking to beat, as they want any extra points they can, and fastest lap does award an extra point to the drivers. An interesting point with the East Coast Formula 1 Championship, they have modified the points layout, I guess, so to speak, whereas every driver on the grid, as long as they finish the race, will gain a point. Stewart makes up another position on Snooker and the Renault, lets them by pretty easy, bit of a lockup. So we'll be looking, we're thinking there's going to be some good action coming out of Stewart in the laps to come. We got a yellow flag in Sector 1. We got ZGS is spun off a track. Unfortunately, the Williams will be losing some positions there. They'll be wanting those back as the Haas of Jake Kelly is closing in on him. Shush is still... Oh, here we go. Detail's going to get some DRS here. As is Kaz. It looks like he's got a bit more speed, though. What's going to happen here? We're going to go 3 wide. Oh, he cuts the corner, lets them go by. Bit of a contact there between Labatt and Kaz. Probably a smart move, lets him go by. That can be a difficult turn to take 2 wide. Shush dove into the pits already. That's an interesting strategy from Mercedes. Potentially trying an undercut. It's hard to say. Jake Kelly with a 1:35.387 session fastest lap at the moment. I'll be very curious to see if anybody can beat the real life fastest lap of the Shanghai circuit, which was set by no other than Michael Schumacher back in 2004 for Ferrari. He set a 1:32.238, so they're roughly 3 seconds off of that right now. Lots of heat to get into the track, lots of tires to wear out, so we'll see what happens later on. Right now we've got Smith, Pell, and Niru sitting up in P1 and P2 for Red Bull, which would significantly extend their points spread between the constructor behind them, which I believe was Racing Point. Could open that up quite a bit. Very good work there. He's got about 1.9 seconds to go to catch up to his teammate, so we'll see if he can't pull that off. Bray Train for Haas. What we got Unholy Red Eye diving into the pits. Only 3 laps on his tires. Guys are pitting quite early, which is surprising. I mean, it does appear to only be a 50% race, but I figured the tires would last a little bit longer than that. Looks like Unholy Red Eye is opting for the mediums, which... Oh, and a brand new front wing. So that will play out to be a 2-stop strategy, as that set of mediums will not make it to the end of the race. So we'll see what happens. Maybe it gets lucky with a safety car later, maybe not. Guitar Maniac coming out of the pits for Williams. And Mopawa is pulling up the rear for McLaren, unfortunately. He's got some ground to cover. Smith, Powell, and Niru have it a bit of a gap out front here of a few seconds. Got a little bit of a battle here. We got Detail, Stewart, and Kaz. We'll hop on board with Stewart here. We're going to have a bit of a DRS train down the back straight. Kaz is on the slower tire, and he will not have DRS himself, so he's going to be a sitting duck down this back straight. He'll be using up ERS, I imagine. Coming into this heavy braking zone. Bit of a lockup for Mercedes, and as he goes wide, Racing Point's trying to take that place from him. Let's see what happens here. As they go wheel to wheel, Stewart manages to take that place. Kaz gets DRS, and he'll sling by him into turn 1, 2, and 3 here. Detail's not giving up. He's sticking on him. We'll see what he can do. Oh, bit of a mess up from Stewart. He does recover quite quickly. Detail can't capitalize on that, but Kaz gets a bit of a gap there. Hopefully Stewart can close that up before that second DRS section on the back of the track. We got a close gap here. Jay Kelly's putting the pressure onto Raimai. Takes the inside line. They get close. Oh, and Raimai can't stick with him, so he will pull away. Jay Kelly looking to bump up. He's currently sitting second in the driver's standings, so he's looking to send Haas a little bit higher up. They are third in the constructors. We got a virtual safety car. Looks like NF has crashed coming out of turn 4. So they'll get that McLaren cleared off the track, and that'll be unfortunate for Ferrari. They still have one car hanging up there in P11 with USGT, but having a car gone is majorly unfortunate for them. Oh, Raimai speeding under the VSC. That's a drive-through penalty. That's unfortunately about a 30-second penalty, roughly. 20 seconds for sure, getting all the way through the pit. We've got a few guys in the pit right now. A few position changes. Haas will swap on the hard compound tire, and they'll zoom out of there. Dissection for AlphaTauri takes over first place with about a 3-second gap on Renault behind him. A few position changes still as guys are coming out of the pits. They're getting passed. Oh, and the Mercedes just gets ahead of Williams as he exits the pit. Good job on Stewart. I imagine he'll be looking to make those hards go all the way to the end of the race. So we'll see if he's got the pace to make up some spots. Let's see what else we got for gaps here. Williams of ZGS has Bray Train in his crosshairs. Bit deep there into that corner. Gets a good exit. Bray Train is on the slower compound, so if he can keep that under a second, he will have DRS heading into this back straight here, which Bray Train may not. So that could definitely hurt him. We'll see if this rear wing opens here on the Haas. It does not, so ZGS will be looking to close that gap a little bit further as they head into the heavy braking zone of turn 14. Labatt's has a big gap on Kaz in the Alfa Romeo of about 4.5 seconds. Detail is going side by side, gets a little bit deep. He's on the quicker compound, but they are getting very worn out at this point. So he's not quite able to put the power down like he wants to. The Mercedes is looking to pass the pink Mercedes in Racing Point. Heavy into the braking, wheel to wheel. Doesn't quite get it done, but he's not giving up. He's really putting the pressure on. He's taken the spot so far. Can he hang on to it? He does. And he's got the Alfa Romeo in his sights. He's on his gearbox. He's going to have DRS, so he'll definitely be able to catch him here. Detail won't be giving up either. He'll also have DRS down this back straight, so I'm thinking they'll both pass the Alfa Romeo with ease. Got a few cars heading into when the Alfa Romeo goes wide. Manages to stay ahead of the Racing Point though. As we got Red Bull and AlphaTauri battling it out, sister teams. Smith Pell on the new hard tires dissection on 8-lap-old mediums. See if he can put the pressure on. Stewart has a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Only a couple penalties so far. We're about a third of the way into the race. Gaps are pretty spread out at the moment. USGT's got Raimai in his sights with DRS down the pit straight. We got a Red Bull off track. Smith Pell is spun, unfortunately, and he's losing a bunch of spots. It doesn't look like he's got wing damage that I can see, so hopefully his car isn't too hurt, just a little bit of off-track venture. Oh, his tires are obviously hot. He loses it there and almost gets sideswiped by the Mercedes. Loses a couple more spots as Snooker will zoom by him as well. That's unfortunate for Red Bull. Labatt's heading out front with a 3.5 second gap on Mercedes. Got another pass here. Unholy Red Eye and Bray Train battling it out. The DRS is a major advantage on drivers. Ooh, and the Williams ZGS almost loses it there at the bottom of the screen. Having DRS, as I've mentioned before, about 15 to 20 kilometers an hour advantage on the car ahead of you, so it definitely aids in overtakes. Sometimes you don't have quite enough room, but it'll close the gap at least. Bit of a lockup there. We got a couple close gaps here. Looks like Smith Pell is putting the pressure back on after his... Oh, is he going to get ahead of the Renault? He does. He gets the move done on Snooker. Mopawa has a track limits penalty. Snooker's not giving up though. See what he can do here. Looks like Smith Pell will be okay for the time being. Mopawa is putting on some new hard tires. He is nearly going to be lapped, unfortunately. He will become a back marker in not too much time. Unfortunate for McLaren, but he will still score a point as long as he doesn't wreck his car or retire from the race. So that's still a bonus. Keeps everybody in the race, keeps everybody trying. We got a couple position changes here as Bray Train gets by ZGS. Detail's got some brand new medium tires on. I'm not quite sure if he's going to try to push those to the end of the race or not, but we'll know a little bit further into the session how long these tires last in this track. Mo Powa has retired. I don't know if that was a crash. Looks like he spun and hit the wall, I believe. Yeah, the McLaren has crashed out, causing a virtual safety car, so everyone will have to slow down. They will have a delta that they have to obey by, which as we've seen earlier with Raimai and his speeding under the VSC penalty. So far, no points for NF or Mo Powa. Oh no, and Raimai with another drive-through. Just can't quite seem to keep his car under that delta. Hopefully he can make that up. Labatt's not too far ahead of Shush. Looks like the Mercedes really wants P1. Unholy Red Eye, we got the McLaren of Renan in the pits, getting a brand new set of hards as he will head out. Losing a few positions there, but guys will have to pit ahead of him. We've got some older tires in the top portion of the grid. Got a couple close gaps up there. Smith, Pell, and Red Bull. Oh, looks like those tires are a little bit cold on the McLaren into that tricky first portion of the track. Smith Pell backs out, lets Renan go by, making sure he doesn't cause any grief, and he will attack him a little bit later on. We got Raimai cruising through the pits, serving his VSC penalty, which, like I said, is, yeah, it looks like it's looking to be about a 20 to 25 second penalty, having to drive through the pits. So he's going to need to make up some time. Renan's gaining a little bit on Smith Pell, but not quite enough to get out of DRS range, so he may catch him down this back straight. Oh, we got a battle up in the front here. Renault and Mercedes. The Mercedes is looking to do a little bit of a switchback here. Oh, as they go wheel to wheel, bit of a lockup from the Renault. Does he get... Oh, they're going wheel to wheel. Oh, and just fights his way through there. Forces the P1 away from Renault. We'll see how long he can hang on to that. We got the other Mercedes of Stewart fighting his way back from his off-track venture. He's got the Williams of ZGS in his sights. He's showing some good pace on the hard compound tire. We'll see if... well, ZGSs are 12 laps old, so those are probably getting close to the end of their life. Oh, Kaz has a mistake. He'll lose a position in turn 12 there to Niru. And he'll lose one to Unholy Red Eyes. The Racing Point zooms by Jay Kelly with the track limits penalty. I'm not sure... Yeah, the Racing Point will get DRS. He'll pull a little bit further away from Kaz. The Mercedes out front is trying to pull away from the Renault. CGS isn't giving up P8 too easily. Kaz in the Alfa Romeo with a 3-second time penalty. So a few penalties starting to accumulate now as we're about at the halfway mark of the Chinese Grand Prix. As we get a little bit further back, we got a couple close gaps here with Williams, Haas, and McLaren, and the Red Bull of Smith Pell. Guitar Maniac and Williams is trying to fend off Jake Kelly, and I don't know if he'll be able to. The Haas is putting, as he touched it a little bit there, wheel to wheel, bit of a lockup from Guitar as he gives up that position by going a little bit deep into the corner there. The Haas will gladly take P10. Gets a little bit on the grass there. McLaren is also trying to steal the position away from Guitar Maniac. This is about the closest battle we've got so far on track. We'll see what happens here down the back straight. We've got Shush up in the front there. He's slowly opening up that gap on Labatt and Renault. They're about 2.3 seconds apart right now. Oh, looks like we got a battle. I should have stayed on board as they go too wide into that back hairpin. Wheel to wheel. Looks like the McLaren had to go quite wide. I imagine there was some contact there with the Williams. Decided to go outside instead of sticking in there. Probably a good call. We're opening up a little bit. We've got both Williams close together on track. Getting a bit of a tow from his teammate. If he can stay in that slipstream, that'll definitely help his speed out a little bit, trying to get away from that Red Bull of Smith Pell. ZGS has a 3-second time penalty for Williams. The Red Bull goes a little bit wide there. We'll hop into the onboard cam of ZGS as he defends 10th position. At the moment, he gets a little bit squirrely. Oh, and he heads into the gravel. That is a tricky corner of the track. You gotta be very careful with your throttle input. Smith Pell has DRS over Guitar. Oh, Guitar opens it late. As Renan makes a push. Oh, a double lock up there. Takes a, oh, maybe not. Doesn't quite take the spot from the Williams. That was a good push. A very aggressive dive into that back hairpin. Doesn't quite get it done though. Guitar, oh, as they touch. There wasn't quite a gap there. And this will cool down for just a moment. Smith Pell gets the better end of that as he leaves those two back there to fight. Looks like Stewart's closing in on Bray Train and Haas. Detail not far behind. The Racing Point wants in on the action. We'll see what happens here. Looks like, oh, bit of a lockup, gets him to the side, and he spins. Oh no, and gets bumped again from the Haas. I imagine that'll be some front wing damage dissection with a 3-second time penalty. Majorly unfortunate there. Looks like Stewart's got DRS. The Haas of Bray Train does as well. Stewart won't quite catch him here. might be able to down the pit straight though. Bray Train gets a little bit deep in the Haas, but he recovers. Ooh, and Stewart goes way wide. And that'll cause him to get a penalty for exceeding track limits. Unholy Red Eye in the Racing Point is in the pits. He's just about to exit. He's got a brand new set of mediums. He'll be looking to stay on those for the rest of the race. A couple different strategies here guys are playing out. A few gaps opening up now. Unholy Red Eye comes out of the pits, not far behind Renan and McLaren. We'll hop on at the back of the grid here. Snooker and Renault hunting down the AlphaTauri of Raimai. They both got pretty fresh, hard compound tires, so they'll be definitely pushing those to the end of the race. Snooker get a bit of an advantage here down the back straight, so we'll see if he can capitalize on that. Unholy Red Eye is closing in on Renan. We'll head back down here and see. He won't quite catch him. He may on the pit straight though. We'll hop on board with the Renault. Oh, he doesn't get quite as good an exit as the AlphaTauri. He does still have DRS, but that'll only make up for running wide in that corner. We've got Kaz and Stewart in the pits. It looks like Kaz is stopping for a fresh set of softs. That's a pretty bold strategy. You've got 11 laps left to complete. Those tires will be definitely falling off near the end of that. And I believe Stewart is on a fresh set of mediums. He'll be able to put some pretty good pace in on those. Unholy Red Eye is closing in on Guitar Maniac. Bit of a lockup from the Williams. So we'll see if he can capitalize on that. We've got ZGS and USGT in the pits. Williams and Ferrari. They've been looking for some new tires there. 17 laps on the mediums for Williams. Definitely push those. We've got a few penalties on the grid, not a whole ton, so it might not jumble too much if the front runners stay where they're at. ZGS retired from the session, unfortunately, a little too late, so the game will put his car back out on track. Bray Train and Jay Kelly in the Haas cars. The Bats Blue 134.498, the fastest lap so far of the race. We got a yellow sector 1. Oh, my apologies, that's the Williams of ZGS as it pulls off track. Looks like Labatt's coming up on his teammate Snooker, who will get the blue flag, letting the front runners pass by. Niru up front here for Red Bull has a 5-second gap on second place of Shush and Mercedes. Now he does have 11 lap old tires, so we'll see if he can fend them off for the next 10 laps. Alright. See if we can find a little on-track battle here. Unholy Red Eye is still trying to get ahead of Guitar Maniac as they come around turn 13 onto the back straight here. Very long straight with a DRS section. He should probably... Shush sets a fast lap, 134.239. And he'll go wheel to wheel. with the Williams, and he'll get the pass done so far. Very good line on the exit. The Williams will fight back though with the McLaren in tow. Won't quite get it done into the braking zone, but definitely closes up that gap a little bit. Reenan's trying to stick in the battle here. Detail with a 3-second time penalty for Racing Point. The top 3 drivers don't have penalties at the moment. That could definitely help them secure that podium. Now we're on board with the front runner Niru. He's got a decent little gap on Shush here, about 2 seconds. But Shush does have the faster tire. They're not very worn out, and they will definitely still be well within their lifespan for the remainder of the race. So he'll be looking to steal away first position there. Smith Pell blows by Bray Train in the Haas with the help of DRS. Bit of a lockup there from the Red Bull. Got a bit of a nose cam, very nice camera here as we head through turn 16 onto the pit straight. Looking to close that gap up a little bit. Unholy Red Eye in tow. Reenan gets by Guitar Maniac. Guitar Maniac's gonna have a tough final laps here with 15 lap old tires. Those will be getting pretty slippery here soon, I'm sure. Stewart's looking to make a pass, and he does. He gets by Dissection, looking to bump Mercedes up in the constructors standings. They're unfortunately in last, so they'll be trying to get every bit of points that they can this race. Bray Train and Unholy Red Eye are definitely putting a battle on for the fans. Bray Train falls a little bit back. I don't know if he's going to manage to have DRS here. He does. He'll be able to close that gap. Reenan not far behind. And the Williams in tow with them. Oh, Shush is definitely closing in on Niru. He closed that gap in a hurry. Only about a lapse time. Smith Pell with a 3-second time penalty for Red Bull. His tires are getting quite old too. We'll see how he can handle those. The Mercedes is putting the pressure on. He's definitely got the quicker tire. They're not nearly as worn out. We'll see if he can push the Red Bull into a bit of a mistake here. We'll hop on board here with Niru, a bit wide there. Oh no, Shush takes a 3-second time penalty. That could definitely hurt his final standings here. The Haas runs a little bit wide. Hop on board with Niru. Shush gets a way better exit. Niru's trying to break the toe. You can't move too many times down a straight. As they get into the braking zone, doesn't quite get there. Almost contact. We'll stick on board with these guys for a second or two here. Shush should be looking to make up some ground. He's got his ERS on. Doesn't have very much battery power left. These guys are pushing their cars to the absolute max. He's getting impatient. He really wants by, but you definitely got to pick your time. We got a yellow sector 3. Looks like we had a Haas off track. of Bray Train. Shush wants that position. Got a few laps to make up that first place, so hopefully he doesn't get too impatient and make a mistake himself. This is about the closest gap. Oh, he goes a little bit wide. He definitely can't take any more penalties. If Niru keeps it clean, goes a little bit deep. We got a Mercedes off track of Stewart, and Dissection of the AlphaTauri is going to be getting close to him. We'll see what Shush can do here. It won't quite catch him. Just a replay of last lap practically. Oh, he goes wide again. I imagine that's a couple warnings, but the Red Bull defending that inside line. Pushes the Mercedes wide. Can he get the move done as they go wheel to wheel? The Mercedes jumps out ahead. And he'll stick it. He'll get the move done and he'll be looking to try to pull away. He does now at the moment, as long as Niru gets 0 penalties, knock on wood. He does need to create a 3-second gap in the final 5 laps. I believe we can move away from them for a little bit as we head back down the grid. Jay Kelly in P5, Smith Pell P6, Unholy Red Eye for Racing Point in P7, Reenan and McLaren in P8, Guitar Maniac in 9th, sorry, and Bray Train in Haas round out the top 10. Looks like Stewart in the Mercedes dove into the pits. He's got some brand new softs on. He may be looking to get... He may be trying to steal the fastest lap away from his teammate up there in first place with that fresh set of softs at the end of the race here. Gaps are opening up a little bit on track. There's nothing too close. You know, there's a couple spots where guys are definitely keeping other drivers in their crosshairs here. I know Niru is definitely going to be looking to make up his position back, but all he needs to do is keep it within 3 seconds, and he will steal the podium away from Mercedes, furthering Red Bull's gap in the constructors' standings. Smith Pell is leading the Drivers' Championship so far. He's down there in P6. The guy closest to him, Jay Kelly, is just ahead of him in P5 in the Haas. So that'll kind of bump them both up in that Drivers' Championship battle. Shush is opening up that gap ever so slightly every lap, which may not bode well for Niru if he can't keep that gap under 3 seconds. I believe that's all he's got for penalties. Yep. Pretty much 3 down the board. Stewart in the Mercedes got a 6 seconds worth of penalties. So hopefully he doesn't further that anymore. We've got a couple guys in the one-stop strategy, as you can see. A couple 2-stops. We've got a 3-stop down there for Mercedes, as he put on that fresh set of softs looking to get that fastest lap. That gap is nearing 3 seconds there between Mercedes and Red Bull in P1 and P2. And it is growing. Snooker in the Renault with a 3-second time penalty. a bit of a close battle back here between the Williams, Haas, and Alfa Romeo. Back marker getting out of the way of the quicker drivers. Guitar Maniac is looking to fend off the Haas of Bray Train. Bray Train has slightly less worn tires over Guitar Maniac. Even though the medium is a slightly faster compound, it will wear out a little bit faster as well over the hards. Stewart sets the fastest lap with a 133.207. That late swap to the soft tire is paying off for him. That's an extra point for Mercedes and Stewart himself. Shush is opening up the gap on Nero, so that's looking pretty grim for Red Bull to take podium again, but should be good for P2. Labatt is quite a bit further back in 10 seconds behind Nero, but that won't matter too much as long as he can hang on and defend detail in the final couple laps here. He does have less worn tires, so that shouldn't be an issue, but we'll see how their pace unfolds. Unholy Red Eye is closing in on Smith Pell. Smith Pell's got some pretty old hard tires, so Unholy might have the tire advantage here for Racing Point. We'll hop on board with him as he gets a little bit closer to the Red Bull. Bray Train is trying to put a move here on Guitar Maniac. He's not having it. He pulls away. Alright, as they come out of turn 13 onto the back straight, he'll have DRS here looking to close up that gap. He won't get it done though. Bit of a lockup from the Red Bull. Oh, and he's almost lost the back end. Those hard tires are at their end of their life. We are on the final lap of the Chinese Grand Prix here in the East Coast Formula 1 Championship. It looks like Stewart might be on low fuel mode. Oh, maybe not. May have just lost the back end a bit there. As we get ever closer to the end of the Chinese Grand Prix, Shush open up that gap significantly on Nero. And he only has 3 seconds of the penalty, so he will take the win here pending any final turn disasters. We'll go to our broadcast cameras as the Mercedes heads across the line through the final corner. And Shush takes the win for Mercedes. That's a very nice jump for their points. And Red Bull comes across the line for Nero. As Labatt heads through turn 16 onto the pit straight, he will take third place and some good points for Renault, followed by Detail and Racing Point. Jay Kelly for Haas. Smith Pell closely behind him with Unholy Red Eye hanging on. McLaren will come across the line here for a P8. And onto the final straight for Williams is Guitar Maniac in P9. Bray Train not far behind in P10. Alfa Romeo P11. Dissection for AlphaTauri. is going to be coming across the line for P12. And his teammate is nearing the end of his final lap as he comes through turn 15 and turn 16 in front of the grandstands. And there you have it, folks. There is the end of the Chinese Grand Prix. Some very exciting racing action. And driver of the day goes to Labatt's Blues in the Renault. And he'll be on the third step of the podium, I believe, as Shush runs up, hoists the trophy, and gets in on the traditional spraying of the champagne. Gets doused there a little bit. We'll see if we can't get these drivers in for a quick little interview. We got Shush taking the top step of the podium in P1 for Mercedes. Niru and Red Bull P2. Very good bump for points for them. Push themselves out a little bit further in the Drivers' Championship. Labatt's takes third place for Renault. P4 Detail for Racing Point. Jay Kelly in 5th. Smith Pell in 6th. Unholy Red Eye 7th. Reenan for McLaren P8. Guitar Maniac and Williams P9. P10 for Bray Train in the Haas. P11 Kaz in Alfa Romeo. Dissection in 12th place. USGT 13th place. 14th goes to Stewart. 15th is held on to by Snooker. 16th Raimai. ZGS in the Williams will take 17th and a DNF, I believe. Mopawa DNF'd for McLaren. You saw that crash earlier. And to round out the bottom of the grid is NF and Ferrari with a DNF as well. See if I can get these guys into the chat here. Just a moment, fans. All right. Just a moment here, sorry. Gotta make sure I got them all here. And Niru. Alright, one moment, folks. Alright, invites are out to those guys. Alright, we're joined by Niru, who took second place for Red Bull. How was that race for you?
A bit stressful when I had to defend from the Mercedes because I really wanted P1.
I can imagine. It was definitely interesting at the end there.
Yeah.
It with that penalty of Shush there, I was hoping that you could stick within him, but he did have a bit fresher tire there, so
yeah.
But
that was a lot harder for me to actually keep up with him because those mediums were making me look bad.
Well, and I mean that's just kind of where that tire strategy comes into place. Obviously, I mean it's hard to have that happen, you know, when you get a couple VSCs and whatnot. But
yeah,
you hung on to P2, which is a good bump to your guys' standings for Red Bull.
Yeah. I thought maybe because I saw one of the McLarens spin and he was like broken. I thought he would actually go for the full safety car, but surprisingly it didn't happen.
Yeah, I was also surprised by that. I mean, generally you get a crash like that, especially at that point in the race. It wasn't near the end or right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely kind of figured we'd have a full safety car, which would have swapped up some tire strategies as well. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, that didn't happen, which can obviously mess up a strategy. But no, it was a fantastic P2 by you, and it
Yeah.
looks like you're the only one that we're gonna have interviewed today. So
All right.
thanks for hopping in, and congratulations on P2.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And
And thank you for the interview.
certainly we'll hopefully join you next week, and you can give us some more insight on a podium. Hopefully.
Sure. I'll try my best.
Awesome. Thanks for joining.
Thanks to you.
Alright, fans, that will do it for the Chinese Grand Prix here in the East Coast Formula 1 Championship. We will see you next week.